Hello, I'm Tamara Jeffries of Grow and Thrive Wellness, and welcome back to Tamara Talks, where I discuss all things spirit, healing, and life. My goal in this series is to give you insights and tools to help you feel well and live well. Today, I want to talk to you about something that I feel like a lot of us struggle with, which is people pleasing. Raise your hand if you identify as a people pleaser. I will say I identify as a recovering people pleaser because I am stopping that immediately. No, in actuality, it's something that I knew about myself and have known for a long time, and so have been working on it. And it is a process. But for all that's been said, and there has been a lot said about people pleasing and why we people please, I feel like there is a piece of that conversation that's not happening. And that's why I wanted to have this talk with you today, because it just feels like there's a big piece missing. So when we talk about people pleasing and we ask for the root cause of it, a lot of times people take it back to that first main relationship, the parent-child relationship. And we look at the parent and say, well, the parent was either emotionally inconsistent, emotionally unavailable. The environment in which the child was growing up was unstable, unsafe in some way, and the child figured out a way to cope by pleasing the people around them, pleasing the parent, to bring about some sense of stability, safety, connection, closeness, some semblance of love and maybe affection. If they did everything just right and were the good boy or the good girl, they would win the affection and graces of their parent. Now, I'm not saying that that's not right, because I think that that is absolutely right. But I also think there's something else that we haven't discussed. And this is speaking to a small population out there of what we have titled highly sensitive people or highly empathetic people. If you identify as a highly sensitive person or a highly empathetic person, raise your hand. I am that, and I have a lot of clients who are that. And our stories, I feel, are a little bit different in that if you're a highly sensitive person, a highly empathetic person, you are picking up on the emotions of everybody in your environment. You are like a sponge, and everywhere you go, you are feeling his thoughts and her emotions and his bad day and her breakup. And all these things are happening inside you. Now imagine a little kid having all of these feelings going off inside them, while at the same time just trying to be a little kid and having all of that jubilant, wonderful, life-giving energy that happens within children. If you can, for a moment, just take a breath and settle in and think about what it feels like when you walk into a space that feels uncomfortable, that feels unsettled, that feels off somehow. And now you yourself feel unsettled and off somehow. And it had nothing to do with you. You walked into the space feeling fine. But now here you are in this environment with these other people, and you can feel things aren't right. And that feeling of not right, that feeling of discomfort, of picking up on other people's stuff, is so uncomfortable inside that we try whatever we need to try to make it better. Speaking from personal experience, when I pick up on other people's stuff, especially if it's emotions of anger or judgment or despair, distress, depression, hostility, what that feels like in me is like 10,000 rattles are all being shaken at once inside me. And they're all contending for my attention, in addition to my regular thoughts and feelings. It's a bit much, and it's distressing because you're being intruded upon by all of this outside information that's not yours. So what I've seen for myself and hearing my clients talk about how they coped in their childhoods, what it seems to me that happened to us is that the discomfort of picking up on other people's emotions caused us to, on a solely unconscious level, seek out ways to make that stop because it just hurt too much. It felt too uncomfortable to be feeling mom's anger or dad's depression. It was just too much. And so we figured out ways to make mom happy or make dad smile. We figured out ways to make our environment better so that we would feel better. So I feel like this is the missing piece in the conversation around people pleasing. People pleasing, I feel like, came about for highly sensitive people, for highly empathetic people, as a coping strategy to mitigate the discomfort of feeling other people's stuff. I know as a child, we have very little control over our environments, right? But we can be really cute, or we can make sure our chores are done perfectly, or we can get straight A's, or we can do whatever we can do within our home to try and make the environment feel better so that we ourselves feel better, so that we're not picking up on all these things all the time. Now, I would never have been able to articulate that as a child, ever. And only now, I'm in my mid-40s, am I sitting with this realization as I've been working with my counseling clients and hearing their stories and relating it back to what I've been experiencing in my life and seeing the connection. It's like, yeah, this makes sense. This makes sense because it just is so uncomfortable to feel other people's distressing feelings inside ourselves that we want to do whatever we can do right away to mitigate it. Usually the first thing we'll do is we'll jump to an apology. We'll apologize for something we didn't even do. We're just sorry that this person is now upset, you know? And if that doesn't work, then we try to figure out, like, what can we do to make this better? I know in my instance, what I did to people please is I made myself smaller. I made myself super quiet. I made myself as invisible as possible so that I wouldn't rock the boat, so I didn't disturb the waters. And so part of my healing had to be about coming out of that, being able to use my voice, take up space, and be autonomous. Everyone's story is going to be a little bit different, of course, but it's important that we look back and see what coping skills did we pick up so as to mitigate the discomfort of other people's feelings. So how do we get out of this, right? How do we stop people pleasing as highly sensitive or highly empathetic people? The first thing, of course, is to notice that we're doing it. You have to become aware that we're doing it. The next thing, and I think it's the hardest thing, is to understand that we are not responsible for someone else's feelings. We're just not. It's not our job to take care of someone else just because they're mad. I might not have done anything to make them mad. They just might be having a bad day and they're mad. They're turning it on me. Whatever the case is, it's not our responsibility to take care of someone else's feelings. And that can feel so scary, almost life-threatening, to stand still and not try to help someone out of their emotional place in that time, especially if it's a distressing place. Because we want them to feel better, and we want to feel better ourselves. And we want to stay in contact. We want to stay in that connection. And that is built into our hardwiring, that desire for that connection. And so anything that disrupts that connection can feel like a threat to our existence. And so we want to do something to mitigate that. But we're not responsible for other people's emotions. I'm going to give you one caveat in that, though. There is a difference between people pleasing and comforting someone. If someone is in a place of distress and we are coming to them to comfort them from a place of wholeness, from a place of our well being filled, and we are here to offer them comfort and support, that's very different than this person is upset and it's making me upset. I don't like this feeling inside. And so I'm going to do whatever I can do to make them feel better so I feel better. That's a very different situation. And you know it's different by how you feel after the fact. Because when you show up for a person from a place of love, from a place of fullness, from a place of wanting to comfort them, because they're in a time of distress, afterward, you feel calm, grateful, and happy that you were able to be there for them. Whereas if it's coming from a place of people pleasing, you feel even more depleted and you feel a little resentful. Let's be real. You feel a little resentful that this is what's happened because you came from a place of deficit instead of from a place of love. So we need to first notice that whatever we're feeling is not ours, it's theirs. We don't have the responsibility to take care of them. The next thing is we have to be able to tolerate the discomfort. And this is a huge thing. This is a huge thing in trauma healing. This is a huge thing in just being a functional human being, is being able to tolerate discomfort because it's so counterintuitive. We want to run toward pleasure and run away from pain. This is what we want to do. But when it comes to being a healthy, functioning person, we have to be able to tolerate discomfort. And we have to be able to tolerate other people's discomfort without trying to run to rescue them. We have to be able to tolerate the discomfort we feel inside ourselves when we're picking up on other people's stuff. So how do we do that? It all starts with awareness and taking a deep breath and knowing that these feelings are going to pass. These emotions are going to pass because that is what emotions do. Emotion is energy in motion. It is going to pass. And as long as we let it move, don't try to run from it. Don't try to make it bad. Don't judge it. And don't try to rush in to fix it. If we just allow it to be, if we can just build our capacity to tolerate the discomfort for a few moments, it's going to pass. At the end of this video, we're going to do a breathing exercise to help with this very thing. But I want you to just take a minute and just sit with that. Just sit with these few new insights that perhaps you are a people pleaser because you have been trying to mitigate the discomfort of picking up on other people's feelings. And perhaps you can stop doing that because you're not responsible for other people's feelings. I mean, isn't that a huge weight off your shoulders? It's like, you don't have to fix them. You don't. You have to just take a breath and be responsible for yourself and let them be responsible for themselves. And like I said, if it's coming from a place that you want to comfort them, let that come from a place of fullness and love rather than deficit and people pleasing. So just sit with that and see how that feels. I never want you to believe what I'm saying just because I'm saying it. Whatever I'm saying to you is because I've lived it. I experience it through myself and through my counseling clients. These are the things that I know to be true. And if it's something that resonates with you that you know to be true, then that is all I hope for. And if it's not something that resonates with you, then that's fine too. We all have so many different experiences of this world and this life. So let's close with a breathing exercise that I'm hoping that you can use as a tool. Whenever you feel yourself, like I said, like me, like it's like 10,000 rattles going off in your body and you're just wanting to be still inside again. So this is a mindfulness practice. It's also a somatic practice, soma being body. So we're going to be tuning in and turning in and noticing what's going on in our bodies. And the goal of this is to build an awareness, but also a way of looking within without judgment, a way of noticing, a way of being without judgment. So to begin, let's come into our comfortable seated position. I'm sitting cross-legged, but if you're sitting with your feet on the floor, feel your feet on the floor. And if you feel safe to do so, you can close your eyes. If not, you can just look down and let your gaze be soft. And we're going to take our attention inward. And we're going to invite this moment of stillness in which we turn our attention within and just start to notice. First, start to notice what sensations you're feeling, what sensations are rising up for your attention. Perhaps there are sensations of tension or constriction, tiredness, irritability. But there might also be sensations of calm and peace, openness, relaxation. So we just want to notice this without judgment, without attachment. Just noticing in the body what parts feel open, yielding, what parts feel tight or tired. Just noticing. And then we're going to take our awareness to our breath. And we're going to slow the breath down and take a deep inhale through the nose. The belly will swell. The ribs will expand. The upper chest rises, filling the torso up with air. Hold the breath gently in for a moment. And then exhale all the breath out. See if you can feel yourself drop in to even greater depths and awareness within. Pull the belly back toward the spine and hold the breath out. Take another deep breath in. Feel the belly swell, the ribs expand, the upper chest rise. Gently hold the breath in. Now exhale all the breath out through the nose. Allow yourself to drop in a little bit deeper, feeling a little bit more grounded. Pull the belly back toward the spine. Hold the breath out. And one more inhale. The belly swells. Ribs expand. The upper chest rises. Hold the breath in gently for a moment. And then exhale all the breath out. Drop in even deeper. Feel yourself even more present and more grounded. Pull the belly back toward the spine. Hold the breath out. And now relax your belly. Relax your breath. Let it go back to its normal pace. And notice how your body is feeling now. Notice if any sensations have shifted. Notice if there are feelings of ease in areas that weren't there before. When you're ready, you gently open your eyes. So how was that experience for you? This is one of the first steps to learning how to tolerate our sensations. It's becoming aware of them from a place of non-judgment and curiosity. It's just wondering what's up with the body right now? Like, what's going on inside? How am I feeling? You know, what are the thoughts that are passing through? What are the sensations passing through? And just allowing them to pass through without fighting them, running from them, making them wrong, making them bad. You just let them flow. So I hope this helps you. I hope it helps in moments when you feel that impulse to jump into people-pleasing mode and you go, hold it, wait now, stop, don't do that. I'm gonna make a different choice right now. And you take a breath and you say to yourself, I'm not responsible rescuing them, helping them out of their emotions. I'm not responsible. I'm responsible for taking care of me and coming from a place of love and fullness rather than deficit and people pleasing. So let me know in the comments what you think, if this was helpful. If it was helpful, please, I would love for you to like and subscribe to this channel and share with your friends. And I will see you again real soon. Take care, everyone.